Now, let's get it on and get this spotlight party started.
Hold on a second. I'm
bugging his mug.
Yeah. I got a bug in my mug here.
He got a bug in his mug.
What the hell? Wait a minute. Look at this.
Recording all of this.
What the hell?
A bug in the mug.
The Spotlight, the place to zoom into action, starts right now. This week on The Spotlight, the kids are not okay? As young individuals protest for gun control at the Tennessee state capitol, Democrats score key victories in Wisconsin and Chicago. Is the left running on issues that are energizing a powerful young base?
The left has really woken up to making sure that Gen Z gets out and vote.
As the messaging from the GOP old guard falls on deaf ears?
Donald Trump has called for America to defund the police. Who thinks that's a good idea? All right, nobody.
And if the right doesn't find a way to connect with Gen Z voters, is the country on the verge of a sharp left turn?
Let's take this bold progressive movement around these United States of America.
Then, he's the youngest African American ever to be elected mayor of a city in Arkansas at the age of 18. Mayor Jaylen Smith is on The Spotlight to share what his goals and plans are for the city of Earle, Arkansas, and how he's planning to make a difference in the future for the better. And Demaris Lugo is this week's guest co-host. Now, let's get it on and get this Spotlight party started.
Well, hello, and welcome to the Spotlight. Welcome to the Spotlight. Welcome to the Spotlight. Joining us as guest co-host this week is the founder of Cinnamon Hairstyle, Demaris Lugo. Welcome.
Thank you, David.
Yes, I'm making sure because I had to change my. So I let them know I had to change my mug because there was a bug in here, and I'm like, oh my goodness, a fruit fly. It snuck up here out of nowhere here. But anyway, on we go with the show. So let's get right into this here. So young Americans have been coming out in force and protests like the march on the Tennessee state capitol to demand gun control. And also at the polls in Wisconsin, it helped a Democrat-backed Milwaukee judge win the high-stakes Wisconsin Supreme Court race, ensuring liberals will take over majority control of the court for the first time in 15 years. That's a long time.
That's a long time.
Yeah, with the fate of the state's abortion ban on the line, obviously here, but and this Democratic judge that we're talking about is a passionate supporter of reproductive rights. And apparently all this activity has the conservative media ringing the alarm bells and whistles here. I'll tell you that for sure here, Okay, we'll just pretend that never happened here, okay? And just like that, take a look at the clip. So what did you think of the clip here, So what was the clip here? So here's the actual clip we meant here.
We find out tonight that the Wisconsin Supreme Court flipped and became controlled by the Democrats. There was that one race that they thought might go to the Republican.
Right.
Republicans lost that. So the Republican Party has enormous challenges.
The left has really woken up to making sure that Gen Z gets out and vote. If you look at the vote and where it came from, especially in Wisconsin, at the University of Madison, for example, University of Wisconsin in Madison, it was staggering. The numbers are staggering, and that is going to happen all across the country.
Actually, it's happened all over, like even when Obama was running for office, and it's like, I mean, it's like just basically it's so much here because, Because with the Wisconsin Supreme Court election, more than 1.8 million voters casted their votes in the more than any spring election, not coinciding with a presidential primary going back to at least the beginning of the millennium. We're talking 2000.
Right.
Yeah. And you know, because you know that's the thing here we got to keep in mind. And it's also another thing that's interesting is that, like among Gen Zers who said they wanted more information ahead of voting, 36% said they would turn to the internet to get their information in terms of what news sources they get it from here, compared to 12% who say social media is the place for news sources. But you got to be mindful with social media. Fake news could come out at any moment here.
Right.
I mean, but what do you have to say about this?
Well, I think that Gen Z, they turn more to YouTube and to TikTok, Facebook, you know, whereas baby boomers are not so into technology. You know, Gen Z is taking over TikTok. They have millions of followers. They're generating income. They're just booming. You know, they should be Gen Z boomers.
But didn't they start booming since the pandemic hit? Because that's when I first heard about TikTok here. You know, is during the pandemic when it hit here.
Right. I didn't know about TikTok before the pandemic.
Exactly. Neither
think
did I.
The pandemic
None
made
of us did.
TikTok open up doors for so many of Gen Z's population.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing here, because you know it's like because it's also important in the future, because many Gen Z voters who are mainly females will have to keep this in mind of what is at risk here, because you know where there's abortion on the line here, and it's like it could affect them of what lawmakers could do next with abortion if they ban it completely, because we're almost going on a year ever since the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade. Yeah. So I'm just curious, as a woman here for you,
Right.
Are you for or against abortion here? And what do you think of all this that's going on here?
Personally, I am for abortion depending on the circumstances. I think that all women have the right to choose. It's our body, and we should make the decision on what to do. I don't think that any judge, man, or anybody in a high court should have the decision over our bodies. I just don't. Like, if I decide not to have any more children, that's my choice. I don't think a state or a Supreme Court should rule on that.
Right. No one should be the one in charge of judging people's bodies, of like how they look, because obviously at the end of the day, you are entitled to do whatever you want with your body.
Right.
No one should be in control of what to do with your body or at any circumstance, because they know better than that. And otherwise, if they want to be controlling about how they should run their body, then that's just the definition of pro-life right there, basically.
Right.
Because obviously you're being pro-choice, and you're really being disrespectful to the women that are trying to get an abortion, that have gone through a dark past or something like that. You know, it's crazy that we're still trying to get this. I'm trying not to curse here, because I almost said it here. We're still trying to get this together here. Okay.
Right.
Whew. That was close. Yeah. I know. I mean, because you know, there's so much that's going on.
It's a real sensitive subject.
Exactly.
You know, and taking away somebody's rights or freedom is just not. I don't think it's the American way.
It's not here, because many of us here are pro-choice. Right. There's a difference between the two, and I'm going to keep saying this over and over again to educate everyone that is watching, because there's certain people that are still not understanding the difference between pro-life and pro-choice here, basically. Yeah, because pro-life is where you are against certain things, including abortion, and it should be the right for where the woman should do all the work while the man just sits back and relaxes and just plays video games all day, you know.
I don't agree.
Versus pro-choice, the man is supporting the woman and taking care of whatever it is that they have to do. It's like you're basically helping each other out here. So there's the difference between the two. So that's the thing you all got to keep in mind here about it here, all right? Otherwise, we're in trouble. But just remember, Gen Z are the people born between 1997 and 2012 here, basically. And we're not even born in the 2010s through like 2025. The ones, because these are the ones that are about 0 to 42 years old. But millennials are born from 1981 to 1996, from where the ages between 27 and 42, which is somewhere around that age here, and as well as Gen Z, we're 11 to 26-year-olds. But also baby boomers, I'm finding, 1946 to 1964 are 59 to 77 years old, and the silent generation, whereas the people born 1928 to 1945 were 78 to 95 years old here. So we're talking like basically close to the centennial age here, so
Wow.
whatever. But but that's basically it. And before we go, these past few weeks not only have been crazy with all this that's been going on, but aside from that, we really literally lost some true iconic legends that really made us really sad and hurt. Barry Humphries, known famously as Dame Edna Everage, who passed away at the age of 89. Actor, activist, and singer Harry Belafonte also passed away. He was 96 years old, and I'm always thinking of the song that gets in the mood. Is called Matilda, and even when he performed at Carnegie Hall, I mean, I listened to it through my grandfather because he loved all that type of music, and as well as, there's that.
I was gonna say, you listen to that music.
Yes, that's how I became an old soul. That's
cool.
it. Because in addition to that, because I was also gonna say, I keep seeing that scene where he's massaging the woman's feet here, basically. But because I think that's an iconic scene from that film. I don't remember the name of it, but if anyone wants to help out with the film, we'll just deal with it later. But he's really just a true iconic that we're definitely gonna miss for sure. And not in addition to that, we also lost professional dancer and Dancing with the Stars TV judge Len Goodman, who died at age 78. That was really something here. And what I'll tell you what's really something, Jerry Springer. Yeah, I know. It's hard.
We all grew up watching Jerry Springer.
I can hear the Jerry chants right now here, but he was really a great person to watch here.
Yes, he was.
Because he was a long-running talk show host and TV judge, and formerly a mayor of Cincinnati. But he was 79 years old when he passed away. And incidentally, we were trying our best to hopefully have Jerry Springer on the show here.
Oh, that would have been
It
awesome.
would have been awesome, but
Yeah. He'll be missed.
He will be missed. And with the Jerry Springer death, that really hit me hard for sure.
Yes.
Really, totally. So, but may they all rest in peace, and they all definitely will be missed. We'll be right back.
Nobody likes an awkward silence. You can actually use it for something good.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
If you smoked, this new lung cancer screening could save your life. Visit SaveByTheScan.org.
Still ahead, Earle, Arkansas Mayor Jaylen Smith on becoming the youngest African American mayor at age 18, and shares his plans for the city's future.
Welcome back. Breaking news that just came in, where Fox News has parted ways with Tucker Carlson, and CNN has parted ways with Don Lemon here. So the Fox News media spokesperson said in a statement that we thank him for his service to the network as host, and prior to that as a contributor here. And basically, the last edition of the Tucker Carlson Tonight aired on Friday, April 21st, where the show began airing in 2016 here. And that's basically that. And with Don Lemon, Don will forever be a part of the CNN family. This is CNN CEO saying in a statement here. And we thank him for the past contributions over the past 17 years. We wish him well and will be cheering him on in his future endeavors. And we are committed to the success of the show, which is obviously they're referring to the morning show CNN this morning, which really isn't doing too good here. But, you know, but with Fox News, Tucker Carlson, wave.
Right.
You know, nah, 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 nah. Hey, hey. We got, he's gone here, okay? So with that. And Don Lemon, I don't know what to say with you, but I feel like you were a great anchor for sure, but ever since you changed and the network is changing, I kind of almost lost a lot of respect for you with the way you mentioned about women. But obviously, you know what, I really don't have anything to say. I'm just gonna. All right. So, anyway, when it comes to the housing market, millennials, or us young people, want to get in on the deals that fits their budget. However, it has not been easy in the housing market for millennials due to a mountain of student debt, a widespread housing shortage, and stiff competition from their deep-pocketed elders, keeping them on their sidelines longer than the previous generations. Hold on a second. I need to take a sip for this.
For real.
Okay. So millennials are desperate, apparently, to buying a home. But cash flush boomers are standing in their way of doing so. So let's face it. Rents Cafe's report found that 51.5% of millennials own a home now. I mean, what do you think of this? Is buying or renting a home becoming more difficult for us young individuals nowadays, even as we're dealing with the continuation of inflation?
I think that buying a home isn't as hard as they make it seem. If you set goals and you save your money and you make effort towards those goals, I think you can buy a home. There's first-time home buyer programs. There's different programs with the banks that you can get. You know, I fall into the millennial category. So you know, I was thinking into buying a home, but again, I don't want to leave New York. I love it here.
Well, you've bought some homes before, haven't you?
Yes, in Jersey.
Oh, what was the experience like?
Well, I bought it to sell it again.
Oh, okay. I mean,
so I invested to sell the home to make a profit. So it wasn't like I bought one to live there.
Oh my goodness! Listen, I'm so glad I haven't bought homes yet here, because obviously, like, it'd be nice, but things are going up here. It's too expensive right now.
Very expensive.
I can't believe this. You know, it's crazy here. I mean, because between July 2021 and June 2022, boomers, I'm reading it off this card here, because boomers were the #1 home buyers for the first time since 2012, and they had cash on their side here. I just briefly mentioned that. Let the bidding wars begin.
Out.
I'm just about to do that.
Right.
But before we do, we'll be right back. Okay? Oh, you're so
wrong. Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Welcome back. Former First Lady Michelle Obama opened up in a new interview with Gayle King that aired on CBS this morning, back on April 20th, where she opened up about the struggles of marriage. Basically, she says, and she admits that it hasn't always been romance for the ages. Take a look at this.
You know, you're also very candid about relationships. And I think you speak for many women when you so candidly said, I mean, people took off on this. You know, there were years where you just didn't like him. Many spouses in this room will say, you know, there's sometimes I don't like him. I don't like her.
Yeah, so what was the controversy? It's like, why
But you said it out loud.
Like, we like everybody every day. It is impossible.
But were there times that you think he didn't like you? Because I know you said, I didn't like him for 10 years. What did he say? I was wondering, what did he say when you said, you know, I didn't like him for 10 years. I was mad at that picture.
Right. No. I share these things because marriage is hard.
Yeah.
And a lot of young people quit on marriage over things that are just a part of the commitment.
Yes.
We've been married for 30 years.
I know.
You know, if I fell out with him for 10 and we had great 20 years, I'd take those odds anytime. But we glamorize marriage. And in this day and age, marriage is more about the dress and the dresses and the proposal and the honeymoon and all the stuff around it. And young people aren't ready for the real of marriage. So I think, once again, it's incumbent upon us, people who have had successful marriages, to be really honest about the fact that making a commitment to be with someone means you compromise, and compromise ain't always fun.
Yeah.
Let's face it, we have a married person already sitting here. I mean, what's your thoughts on this here?
So, like former First Lady Michelle Obama said, marriage takes work. You know, there's no I in team. I've been married for going on 16 years. This May 5th will make 16 years for my husband and I. It takes a lot of work, a lot of compromise. And yeah, then when you bring the kids into the mix, it just complicates everything.
Oh boy. Thank God I'm still single. I'm not even married yet because I'm too young. I'm not ready for that yet here. All right? Because, you know, it takes time. You know, you got to focus on yourself more to see where there's room for improvement. And, yeah, Michelle Obama's got a point there, you know, because it's like, they would be just... They're just so cute together.
They really are. They have two beautiful daughters. And one thing that caught my eye was that when she said control happens when you know how to make yourself happy, when you know how to create your own joy. And that's true, because you have to have your own self-happiness, your own friends, your own outlets, your own things to do. Everything can't be about the relationship, about the home, about the kids. You have to have me time.
Exactly.
And that's how to make a relationship work.
I think that explains why Angel Reese wants to visit the Obamas after winning the NCAA championship here.
I agree.
You know, because I could see why. I mean, you could have still went to the Bidens and celebrate here because they're friends with the Obamas here. What's wrong with that here?
Right.
Someone just explain that to me. I just don't get it here. But you know. Anyway, we're moving forward here.
So actor Chris Evans is starring in a new movie called Ghosted, which is also the way he prefers to end a relationship. Don't believe us? Just watch the clip.
Oh my, here we go.
I think I prefer being ghosted because you can make up any story you want. I've kind of had the slow decline in text responses and time, and you just know the person is kind of pushing you aside casually. You tell yourself a story, you know, whatever you got to do to get by.
I mean, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You do not show up.
Yeah, that's the truth. You don't get on a plane, that's for sure.
Yeah. I don't remember any disasters. Oh my. No. I don't date much either, so I don't think I don't have a lot of experience with dates.
I'm sure I've had uncomfortable ones, but I just block them out.
What did you think about that?
I was going to ask, do you want to ghost with the Obamas here?
No.
Because I could see some women are probably want to ghost with President Barack Obama already. Because they looking at him as like he's the sexiest man alive. He's also the sexiest man alive as well. Chris Evans as well here, or well, I know everyone's also gonna go over to Idris Elba as well. You know.
Yeah, Idris Elba did get voted as the sexiest man on the planet.
And everyone's still talking about it here. I mean, it's just, you know, okay, I'm gonna have to go candid on this. I don't know why, but I feel like I'm envisioning myself getting ghosted, being with a celebrity crush of mine here. Well, there's many of them, so I don't.
A Marvel celebrity crush.
Not really a Marvel character, but the list goes on forever. But it's like it's a long list. I'm telling you, I don't got time to mention the names here, unfortunately. Are we really going? Are we really have that much time left? Yeah. How much time we got left for that segment? Now they can't get their minds right. Oh, all right. So they want me. They just want to hear this, okay?
We'll be right back.
Thank you. Let's just, thank you for saving myself here.
Why don't you ever see elephants hiding in trees? Because they're really good at it. Yeah, I get it. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
Hey, imagine you are 18 years old and you just finished high school, and then all of a sudden your dreams come true where you choose to run for mayor of a city and you get elected. And that was the case for this 18-year-old who graduated from high school last year, who made a difference hopping on the campaign trail and becoming the youngest African-American mayor to be ever elected in the city of Earle, Arkansas. Yes, he ran wild and won the election. Not only that, we're thrilled to have him on our show to tell us more and what his plans are as mayor of Earle, Arkansas. Please welcome, joining us now virtually from Earle, Arkansas, the fine, sharp, youngest mayor, Jaylen Smith here. Welcome, Jaylen. Yes, can you hear us?
Thank you so much for having me on today. Very honored to be here.
Yes.
And looking forward to telling you more about my story.
Yes, we were glad to have you on here, you know, because you are like considered the youngest mayor ever, I'd say all around the world, but I might be wrong if there's anyone else that has achieved what you have already achieved already here. So just tell us like the background behind it, like why did you choose to run for mayor in the city? And because obviously there's a lot going on from what I heard happening in Earle, Arkansas. So tell us more about that.
Okay, great. So I'll just kind of tell you the why and the how of how I got where I am today.
Yes.
So when I was a younger teenager growing up, I always had a passion for helping and caring for senior citizens.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, my dream was to become an Arkansas State Trooper. But when I got to high school, I had two young men approach me and asked me to join an organization called Student Council. So I went home, I looked at myself in the mirror and asked myself, do I believe in myself? And after that, shortly, I prayed and asked God to guide my steps and order me what I should do next. So the next day, hey, I got involved with the organization, very involved with the organization, involved with the school, advocating for students, advocating for students with learning disabilities, advocating for the best quality of education for students as a whole, with learning and regular students. And not only doing that within the school system, we also did the same exact thing in the community. We're helping with senior citizens, advocating for the best quality of living for senior citizens, issues that we face, we advocated as a student council. And what motivated me most to run for public office is that I got tired of students, particularly in this community, graduating and going off to college and never coming back to their hometown to make a difference within this community. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to make a difference within this community before I moved on to the next phase of my life. And what I live by, my motto is, why should I have to go somewhere else to be great when I can be great right here in my community of Earle, Arkansas?
Yes.
And when I did that, ran for public office, it wasn't easy. I had different people telling me I was too young, I didn't know anything. I just graduated high school, but I didn't allow what people was telling me to define who I was trying to become as a young man, because the sky's the limit. I wrote the vision, I made it plain. I know that I was going to have obstacles, challenge, and distractions, but I did not allow those obstacles, challenge, and distraction, again, define who I was trying to become as a young individual. And so when I told my constituents of this community that I want to run on public safety, economic development, infrastructure, because I wanted to transform this community into something greater. And so they kind of saw some hope with that. I went around shadowing different mayors around the state of Arkansas, around this country, to kind of get the different day-to-day expectations and experience as being a mayor. And people saw that I was doing it, so they saw hope. They said, I want somebody young in this office. I want somebody young to have the energy, the commitment, the dedication, the resilience, the pride to transforming this community. And so I just continue to press forward, regardless of the distractions, the obstacles, the challenges, because I know that's life. And we're going to have those obstacles, challenges, and distractions, but it ain't going to do nothing but prepare us for a later time in life. And so I'm just very grateful that my constituents of this amazing community gave me a chance to step up to the plate to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Well, kudos to you, Mayor Smith. You're an amazing young man. What are some of your top priorities for Earle, Arkansas, and how do you plan to achieve them?
Okay, so when I was running my campaign, I ran more on a specific piece of running. So I ran on public safety, beautification, abandoned houses, new houses, public transportation, grocery stores, streets, water, and sewer system. So I'll start with the public safety piece first, the most important things first. So with the public safety piece, when I came into this office, we didn't have a lot of police officers. Mm-hmm. And dealing with a small community, we don't have a lot of money like other communities do. And so I've been pulling in with our state legislative, our congressmen, to kind of find some resources and sources to bring back to kind of get more officers on board. So when having those conversations with them, we have been looking into different grant opportunities that can kind of help us for 3 years to hire officers. But after those 3 years as a city, we got to find some kind of way to sustain those officers, which I'm very confident in those 3 years, if we get the grant, whenever we apply for the grant, that we can sustain those officers, because safety is most important. Mm-hmm. And that's something we need in this community.
Right.
And so the beautification piece is the cleanliness of the city. Right. So the cleanliness of the city, as far as it's a lot of paper, grass cutting, et cetera, but the main things we want to do, we want to develop new habits in this community. So when we're going down the street, we want to stop. We want to stop as a community to pick up that paper, so we can just show a new initiative that we're trying to get the cleanliness of the city back on court. But it's going to take not only myself, my city council, but it's going to take the people of this community to help us hold each other accountable when it comes down to the cleanliness of the city. Mm-hmm. Now, moving on to the public safety piece. So the reason I want to kind of incorporate it and put a public safety piece in this community, because we have a lot of senior citizens. We have a lot of people in this community that doesn't have transportation or adequate transportation to get to and from the doctor's office, to and from the job site. It just goes, and the list goes on and on. So we, as a community, we want to try to bridge that gap with partnering with different private sectors to bring in public transportation, so that our people can have easy accessibility to get to and from where they need to go. And so bringing in and then the last piece is the grocery store piece, which this community had a grocery store a couple of years back, but we want to come back and bring another grocery store within this community, because we're a small community with around 1,800 people, and we're growing. We're now at 1,831, and we're growing still. So we want to bring a grocery store back in the community, so that it can help, because we have people in this community that have low income. And so with going back to the public transportation piece, that people in this community don't have a lot of money to pay people to take them to this place. So with having a grocery store within the community, it'll be a great help to the people of this community. Not only great help to these people in this community, but the other smaller cities that's probably 5 miles or about 5 minutes or 10 minutes away from us, that can come also and pitch into that grocery store. And so I know that a lot of people say, well, How are you going to get that? And a lot of people also say, well, I don't think you're going to get that. It's gonna be a struggle to get that. And my piece, and I tell people as a leader of this community, I would rather go through the struggle to get it than not do anything about it.
Right.
And so we're just looking at we just start still having conversations with our state legislators, different private sectors about how can they come in and give us some kind of assistance on the public safety piece, the beautification piece, the public transportation piece, the grocery store piece. And so since I've been in office, we've been have some kind of great hope about those different things that we're trying to do. We just got to kind of, we're still in phase 1 of our plan to kind of transform this community or transform this train or transform this ship. But it all is part of the process. With part of this process, we know that we're going to have challenges, obstacles, and distractions, but we have to stay the course because we know and when we're going through those challenges, obstacles, and distractions, it's not going to do anything but prepare us for a later time.
Mm-hmm. Now that you mentioned about the policing with Arkansas here, because there's been a lot of talk about where people are like for defunding the police or against defunding the police. What is your stance on that? Are you for or against defunding the police?
I am truly against defunding the police, because if you don't have no police, who you're going to call?
Right.
So I'm totally against it, because police officers, we do have police officers that's out here putting their life on the line every day to keep us safe. And we just have to applaud the ones that are doing the correct things, and we just have to take the ones that are just abandoning the police and get them off our streets.
Right. And I also sorry. No, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah, you were going to say something. I wanted to ask another question.
But it all comes in. It all comes into a piece of different phases that we have to put in. We have to establish like phase 1, where it's called how can we get safer police officers, or how can we get the adequate police officers. You have to go through those different phases to kind of transform the culture of policing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And there was also, and what I found interesting, like with the election, you won by a very small number here, and it was about 50 some people that you got more votes than the other. I'm just curious to know, like, when you won the election by that small amount, what was like your immediate response, and like what was going through your head after you found out that you won?
Well, I was very excited when I saw the results. When I saw the results from the election, I didn't take it for granted. I just trusted in my Almighty God that regardless of the outcome, I still have work that need to be done, and I just kept that mindset. When I won the election, I just said to myself, and I told my family, just time to get to work. It's time for us to get to work.
Right. Jaylen, we have a lot more to discuss with you, so we want you to stick around with us here, okay? So we will have more with Mayor Jaylen Smith of Earle, Arkansas on after the break, so we'll be right back, y'all, okay?
I'm getting vaccinated against COVID-19. Yes, there could be some short-term side effects from the vaccine, but they go away in a day or two. It's not going to stop me. Those are signs that my body is building protection. It's worth it to avoid serious problems from COVID-19 disease.
Find out how to use an awkward silence to help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
We're back once again with the youngest mayor of Earle, Arkansas, Jaylen Smith. So, Jaylen, what advice would you give to young people who are interested in pursuing a career in politics or public service?
Oh, that's an amazing question. That's a good question. I love to answer. So, my encouragement would be to young people that are trying to make a difference in trying to step into roles of leadership. Is number one, put God first. Second, I would say be a great listener. Thirdly, do what your heart desires you to do. The sky is the limit. In order for you to be successful, you have to take failures. And just continue to press forward, regardless of what people tell you, because we know, and you know, that We're going to have obstacles, challenges, and distraction, but it's not going to do anything but prepare us for a later time in life. And when you get to the later time in life, you'll look back and say, I'm prepared for that. I can face this on the forefront. And so I would just say, continue to strive for greatness. Continue to strive for greatness.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I agree too.
One more question from me, and then I'll let
No,
David take
go ahead.
the floor.
Go ahead.
So, how do you balance your responsibilities as mayor with your personal life and other commitments?
Oh, great question. So, with me, I have I have a mayor job. I have college that I'm doing online. I have a part-time job while I work at a mortuary where I'm serving families in this community. And so, in my personal life, when I go home, that's when I just kind of relax and decompress and sleep and relax and just enjoy the moment at home. And some days, some weekends, I go, just enjoy riding ATVs, etc., watch movies, go out to eat, and just do things I want to do. And it's not difficult at all to separate my personal life from my business life. And I actually enjoy separating my personal life and my business life because it just makes me more successful. And pretty much, I work 7 days a week because I just love serving families, serving the people of this community, waking up every day, just being a motivational inspiration to people of this community and around this world. Because being a young teenager, I don't think you see in this world today is us creating crime and doing craziness, but you have ones like me just trying to make a difference, trying to make an impact, and try to make the world great. It's just such an amazing thing.
Yeah, I'm just curious of how you handle all this at once, even as how mayors do it here, because it's like you're balancing out a lot of these things with your personal life, and even as mayor of Earle, Arkansas, like how do you do that here?
Mainly just put what is priority. Mayor is a priority. My personal life is a priority. College work is a priority. My second job is a priority, and it's just basically just juggling it all around. And mayor jobs are originally from 8 to 4, but technically a mayor job is a 24/7 job. And mainly you just have to put in front of you what's more important and what is the priorities.
Right. So, with all this that's been going on, and even with you, Mayor Smith, becoming the mayor of Earle, Arkansas here, there's a lot that's been going on here we discussed earlier in our show about the topic with abortion and even what Gen Z is trying to do to get their voices out heard and to vote, and as well as the issue with gun violence here in America. So there's a lot here that we have to discuss with so little time here that we have here, because I'm reading here that the rate of gun deaths has increased from 40% from 2011 to 2020, or like from right now. So I'm just curious of as mayor of Earle, Arkansas, or even as a future politician, like who knows if you might become president of the United States here, like yes. But what is like your plan of action to prevent gun violence from like happening even in your city of Earle, Arkansas? And like also on the issue of abortion here, how is that being played out? Or like is every woman being protected or like getting the access to abortion, despite the fact that there's some states that are trying to restrict abortion's rights here?
Gotcha. So the number one piece I go into about the gun violence piece. So within Earle doesn't too much have a gun violence problem, but we did have a gun violence problem back in early of 2022 it was a horrible tragedy event. It was all this gun shootings was going on.
Right.
But in order for us to prevent gun violence and the gun shootings, different things and pretty much in this community, what we do, we don't too much have that right now as I speak, because number one, we are one big family, and we all collaborate together. And with us, even though we have a police department that's kind of short-staffed right now, but we have partnered with different agencies to kind of show a lot of police presence within the community. particularly throughout the day, throughout the night. So we're working with not only our police department, working with our county agency, our state police partner, our ATF, drug task force, et cetera, different things to kind of see why are we having those problems? Why do we have the problem in the past, and how can we prevent those problems? And
Right.
number one, how you can prevent it. The ways you can prevent it is number one, is more police presence in the areas of where it's going on. Secondly, define and identify who's doing the shootings and why they're doing the shootings. And thirdly, and try to come to some kind of conclusion of how we can get them or decrease the violence that are going on. But again, I go back to say this, in this community, since I've been in office, we haven't had probably a gun violence shooting in this community, which I'm grateful for. And praying as we go down this line of this journey, we continue to be successful where no gun violence is happening in this community. We just want to continue to be safe, a peaceful community where people can come and just sit back and relax. And I'm just very grateful as mayor of this amazing city, just trying to be more proactive than reacting when it comes down to gun violence, because we never know when it could happen. But we just want to be more proactive. So when it happens, we just want to be proactive. We want to be there.
Mayor Smith, what is your message to Gen Z voters?
Gen Z voters?
Yes, for like the young people.
The young people.
Yes.
Okay, so my message to them is, number one, get registered to vote. Then secondly, go to the polls and vote, because your vote is your voice.
Right.
You can make a difference at the poll by just going to vote. And that's very important, because being a registered voter and your vote does matter. A lot of people say, my vote don't matter. It don't matter. Your vote do matter. That one vote, it matter now. And so getting registered and going to the polls and voting for the important people that you know that's going to serve your community well. Because when I ran for office, my office was a nonpartisan office. So I have a lot of times people ask me, what am I? And my response to them, it's not about who I am or what party it's not about what party I support. It's about me as a leader making the difference in this community, so all these people in my community can succeed and be successful and grow.
Good answer.
And so
yes,
that's kind of my piece of it, kind of inspiring young leaders to go out and vote. We vote for people that we know that's going to do the work. It's going to put people first and paperwork second.
Right.
And so just going to get registered and going to the post vote, it's really important.
Yes, it is. One last question here, because time goes so quick here, because I mentioned about abortion. Like, what is like your stance on abortion, and what do you plan on doing to like making sure every young person has access to abortion, despite the fact that there's some states that are restricting abortion laws and everything else here?
So, well, I can't decide what women do to their body. We can't decide how we can't decide what dictate how people deal with their body.
Right.
Let them decide on what they want to do, because it's them, not us.
Right.
Our job is to support them, not make the decision for them in that case. And so I would just say, as a leader, leave it up to the mother what she want to do with her child. We can do so many ways to hurt a mother, but we don't know what a mother is going through. So I couldn't say as a leader, I know what's best for them, because in reality, I don't know what's best for them.
Right.
Because one, I'm not in their shoes.
Right.
So we'll never know what a person is going through unless we're in their shoes or have something similar. But as leaders of this nation, we shouldn't decide what women do with their bodies.
Right.
I agree.
We agree.
We just just leave it up to them, because again, as leaders, it's not our job to make decisions for about what a female should do with her body or what she should do to her child. Yes. That's not our job. Our job is to make our country greater and better. That's our job.
That is true. But it's also a worry of concern of like what could happen if your state gets the restrictions of the abortion access. Like, what do you plan on doing if that were to be the result, if that was the case here?
So my plan is, continue to just bring our political leaders, I mean, my state legislators and my congressmen together to kind of define work out some kind of plan of how we can, be an assistance, not a decision maker for the women, but be an assistant to them, and how we can better be an avenue when they need someone. We want to be there, not a decision maker, but an assistance and an avenue that they have the best support from us. And so that's my plan. If it goes to Arkansas, which I'm praying that we still stay where we are and let let the females decide what they want to do to their bodies.
Right. Mayor Smith, it's never enough time with you. We enjoy this great conversation with you, and we enjoyed having you on the show. Please come back and visit us anytime. You're welcome to come to New York whenever you're here. We're welcome to have you on. For sure. It's just been so great. It's just never enough time with you, but we thank you so much, Mayor Smith.
Mayor Smith.
Yes. Our special thanks to Mayor.
Thank you so much.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Sorry about that. But I thank you all so much for having me on the spotlight. And also, I'll be in New York next week, actually.
Oh,
but I'm so grateful that I
have him on the show.
Talk with you all today.
You got to stop by and come visit us.
Yes, we do. But Mayor Smith, thank you, Mayor Smith, for joining us. Our special thanks to Mayor Jaylen Smith of Earle, Arkansas, for joining us and for a great conversation. We wish him continued success on his journey to create change and so much more in the future ahead. And we look forward to great things, hearing great things ahead, and what he's doing for us and even throughout the nation. And as for us always here at the Spotlight, we'll be right back. Okay?
I'm an actor in an ad that was given 12 seconds to remind you that if you're high, just don't drive. Because if you feel different, you drive different. It's illegal to drive high everywhere anyway.
Selfie. Nailed it.
We're back. This is our free chat segment. I mean, I'm still,
like wowed, right?
Mayor Smith is something, I'll tell you. He really did make history as the youngest mayor ever. I mean, it's like just with his plans of action and just seeing him taking action and doing campaigning on the trail at a young age. We need more of that here, and that's the thing that I love seeing about what Mayor Smith did here,
Perfect example of Gen Z taking over.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because, as they said, the next generation is going to be taking over, and, they're going to have to get used to the change that's coming in here. So that's the thing that is always great here is youth community voices, youth empowerment, and
I'm real interested to see how far he goes and all the amazing things that he does while he's in office.
Yes, I mean, so basically I'm just curious of what's next for Jaylen Smith, and at the same time, I just look forward to hearing great things of what he's going to do here for the city of Earle, Arkansas here, or perhaps the entire state here,
right.
Because anything can happen, I mean, it's because, we're dealing with 1,800 people in the city of Earle, Arkansas, and because it was real about 3,000 back in the 90s here.
Right.
So
like he said, what made them leave?
Mm-hmm.
I like one thing that he pointed out when he said, I'm from here, I want to make my stamp here, and then I'll go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a really important thing that he said, because he was born there, he saw everything, he knows a lot of people there, and now he put his stamp there as the first mayor, and he's only 18 years old.
Exactly.
I couldn't even imagine being a mayor at 18 years old.
I know. It's hard to
That's a big responsibility.
It's a lot of work for sure, and I'm still trying to figure out if there's any other young people that are like at 18 years old or younger that are mayor of other cities across America or
I don't
wherever.
think so.
I don't know.
I think he's the first.
I think he is the first, you know, but you know, we just hope all goes well with Jaylen Smith here, and you know, and yeah, we'll be right back, y'all.
Do you like this top? It's so gay.
Really?
Yeah, it's totally gay.
You know, you really shouldn't say that.
Say what?
Well, say that something's gay when you mean it's bad. It's insulting. What if every time something was bad, everybody said, oh, that's so girl wearing a skirt as a top?
Oh, you are.
Those are cute jeans, though. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. So if you want to talk to your kids, you got to get it trending. I was just trying to get your attention.
Could I just ask?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Hey, this has been a great show. We got less than a couple minutes here because I wanted to ask about, because I heard about the situation where you are the owner of Cinnamon's Hairstyle. Why don't you tell us more about that here?
So I am a licensed cosmetologist. My business name is Styles by Cinnamon. In the hair industry, I go by Cinnamon. Right
Sweet.
now, thank you, sometimes. Right now, I am the fastest hairstylist in New York City. I was formerly on a show with Alan Action about 2 weeks ago where I did 2 models for 1 minute and 30 seconds. Aside from owning Styles by Cinnamon, I also have a head lice company. It's called Lice Exchange, where I have 32 employees, and we screen and we treat children along the tri-state area for head lice.
Wow.
Yes.
Unbelievable. You know, you get a Guinness World Records of that. Here, take my trophy.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Take my trophy. But listen, thank you for guest co-hosting with us. Time just goes so quick here, you know. This has just been a great show. We want to thank you all for watching here. We want you all to have a great week here. Good luck, be well, be safe. Keep it real and 100 as always here. And take a moment to have fun, express yourself, and enjoy. Let's all say it together. Take a little time to have fun, enjoy the spotlight. Thank you. Woo.